Imagine this. You didn't abandon yourself all at once. There was no explosion, no door slamming. You left yourself behind in tiny things. A no big deal when it did matter. And I'll fix it tomorrow when you were already breaking today. A polite laugh when you wanted to say enough. A don't worry, I'll adapt every time your body was screaming it couldn't go on. And there, in those invisible details, your light began to dim. That's why today, I want to say it without makeup. Loving yourself is not pampering yourself. Loving yourself is stopping the small betrayals. Loving yourself is giving your life your name back. Before we continue, I'm really curious to know where in the world you're joining from and what time it is there. I'd love to read you in the comments. I know they sold you self-love wrapped like a gift. Scented candles, bubble baths, a spa day, a mantra on your phone screen, a treat yourself, you deserve it. All of that can be nice. Of course it can. But it doesn't hold. It's foam. Pretty on top. Air inside. It won't save you when respect trembles. It won't protect you when you choose from fear. It won't sustain you when you look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself. Pampering soothes. Love matures. Pampering is offered when you're tired. Love walks with you to the places you'd rather not look. Pampering distracts. Love centers. And what you're missing isn't a delicate distraction, but a radical fidelity. Fidelity to yourself. Big word, I know. More than grand promises, self-fidelity is built with quiet decisions. It's that conversation you finally don't swallow. It's that invitation you decline without over-justifying. It's that afternoon you give back to yourself when you notice paying for it with your energy costs too much. It's getting up from the table when there's no bread, no respect, no listening. It's having the courage to postpone a desire when you know it comes from lack. It's refusing to turn love into mere relief for emotional hunger. Sometimes people tell me, but if I love myself, why does it feel so hard? Because you finally stopped numbing yourself with quick pleasures. Because love has texture, limits, and time. Because love demands order, and order stings at first. Because loving yourself, when you come from self-abandonment, feels like rehab. Your hands shake when you say no. Your heart pounds when you hold a silence. Your body itches when you don't reply to messages that only drain you. It happens because you're restoring your edges. Discomfort isn't a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign you finally left the anesthesia. This isn't about becoming hard. It's about stopping the deals you make with inner dishonesty. For years, you confused love with a gentleness that cost you too much. Loving well isn't swallowing your voice, nor explaining to exhaustion why something hurts you. Caring isn't emptying yourself. Being there isn't sacrificing your rest as proof of commitment. Kindness without truth rots. Understanding without limits turns into resentment. The silence that seeks peace at any price ends up billing you with interest. Insomnia, anxiety, a fine sadness you can't name. You're not down by bad luck. Maybe you're sad because you're failing yourself. Let me tell you something that maybe no one said clearly. Self-abandonment is a habit. It isn't an accident. You learn it in homes where love was conditional. I love you when, you're good if, look at me to know who you are. It takes root when as a little girl you discovered that being nice kept you safe, that staying quiet avoided storms, that taking care of others guaranteed you a place at the table. That system saved you then. It let you grow with a useful map, watch the emotional weather, put out fires, sacrifice your own things so the house wouldn't explode. You were brave. And now that you're an adult, something braver is yours to do. Rewrite the map, thank what saved you, and let go of what drowns you today. That rewriting doesn't happen in a self-care weekend. It happens in small, sustained gestures. When you're invited to a plan that lights you up, say yes openly and organize yourself to truly enjoy it. When you're invited to a plan that squeezes you, say no respectfully and cut the justification short. When you sense someone engages with you out of self-interest, release the need to defend your limits with an essay. When your body says, rest, don't negotiate with promises. Rest. When your self-esteem wants to buy itself with other people's praise, Remind it that its title is renewed by your decisions, not by applause. The question that matters isn't, how do I pamper myself? The question is, how do I sustain myself? Sustaining yourself is becoming a habitable place. It's using your voice without turning it into a weapon. It's stopping the push on doors that answer with silence. It's treating yourself with respect even when you make mistakes. It's repairing on time when you've failed, instead of flogging yourself in secret while promising perfection outwardly. Sustaining yourself isn't becoming invulnerable. It's staying on your own side even when your cracks show. Self-love doesn't plaster over fissures, it lights them so you can fix the structure. Let me offer you an image. Think of yourself as a house with foundations, walls, and windows. Pampering would be buying fresh flowers, hanging curtains, changing the bedspread. Loving would be checking the foundation, fixing leaks, adjusting doors, reinforcing frames. Pampering makes the photo pretty. Love keeps the house from giving way at the next tremor. When you choose love, you choose maintenance. Less wow online, more peace on your pillow. Less show, more coherence. Less impulse, more loyalty. There will be those who tell you that makes you selfish. They confuse selfishness with self-management. Selfishness is taking without looking at the other. Self-love is tending to what's yours so you can truly look at others. With time, you'll learn something sweet. People who love you well are grateful for your limits. Clear limits prevent misunderstandings. People who are offended by your edges loved you for your lack of them. They wanted you docile, not alive. Available, not authentic. Be grateful for the lesson. Let go respectfully. Don't over-defend yourself. Your life isn't a trial. Let's talk about the inner voice that sabotages you. It isn't a monster. It's a part of you that learned to protect you badly. It says, don't make noise. Don't bother them. Better say nothing. What if they get mad? Give it a seat. Listen. Ask where that fear comes from, and then you decide. Love doesn't erase fear. It teaches you to walk with it without letting it drive. Daily courage is small and stubborn, sending that honest message, making that uncomfortable call, holding your ground without turning it into war. Courage doesn't always show from the outside. Sometimes only you feel it when you hang up the phone and breathe in relief. I want you to feel the difference between two questions that change everything. What soothes me today? And what builds me for the long run? The first calms you, the second dignifies you. A late-night message might soothe your anxiety, but it may strip your dignity because you knew you were placing yourself where no one was speaking to you. Saying yes to an invitation you didn't want might calm the fear of being left out, but it makes you pay with energy and resentment. Self-love isn't heroism. It's preferring what builds you, even if it stings a bit now. It's saving future suffering with present courage. I also want to look you in the eyes when I talk about rest. Rest isn't a reward for productivity. It's a biological and emotional need. If you're exhausted, you don't lack motivation, you lack permission. When you treat yourself like a machine, everything goes off balance. You eat late, sleep badly, cry alone behind an "I'm fine." That's where pampering feels fair. You gift yourself something. Distract yourself. Promise next week will be different. And that week doesn't change. The tenderness you need isn't a whim. It's scheduling. Block time to come back to you. Sometimes, loving yourself is closing the door and saying, "This hour is mine." An uncomfortable truth. Many of the arguments you keep repeating with others are arguments you never had with yourself. They don't listen to me. They don't respect me. They don't value me. Real pain, of course. But ask, do you listen when your body says enough? Do you respect yourself when something crosses your principles? Do you value yourself when you price your talent at a decklash? Discount out of fear of losing the opportunity. Life, with its gentle irony, sometimes mirrors the way you treat yourself. Not to punish you, but to invite you to change the contract. You're not alone. Many of us were raised to look outward before inward, taught to be useful, not honest, admirable, not congruent, strong, not true. Today, without scandal or drama, we choose something new, to be whole. Whole isn't perfect. Whole means if I break, I gather myself. If I get lost, I seek myself. If I fall, I wait for myself. If I err, I uphold myself. Whole means I won't leave myself alone again at the moment I need me most. I'm going to tell you the story of Lucia, who could have your name. Lucia was brilliant at work, helpful in her family, loving with her friends. She said yes with a smile and cried in the bathroom so as not to worry anyone. "It's temporary," she repeated. "It'll pass." Temporary became system. One day, without drama, her body said enough. Migraines, overload, insomnia. Life gave her an ultimatum no calendar could negotiate. Lucia got scared, and the fright, blessed be, made her humble. She asked for help, delegated. Said no. No to the favor she couldn't do. No to the meeting she couldn't attend whole. No to the chat that only brought noise. It was uncomfortable. They called her unfriendly. She breathed and didn't defend herself. Months later, her face changed. At 6 months, her bonds too. Some drifted away, and it was sad. Others came closer, and it was new. Lucia didn't become selfish. She became responsible for herself. That, and nothing else, is love. Marta, another possible name for you, confused passion with pursuit. She liked roller coaster loves. Intense, dazzling, exhausting. The high made her feel alive. The crash left her in pieces. One day she asked herself with fierce honesty, "What am I looking for in this kind of story?" The answer disarmed her. She was seeking proof of worth, not love. She was trying to win the cup of someone who would always be thirsty. Marta did something hard. She quit the inner theater. She stopped reading signs where there was only whim. She traded the dopamine of immediacy for the peace of slowness. She spent time alone without calling it punishment. She learned to distinguish chemistry from compatibility, desire from care, words from habits. She didn't become cold. She became wise. She didn't stop feeling. She stopped pursuing. Elena, last in this triptych, was queen of the explanation. She had an essay for every boundary. She struggled between not hurting and not letting herself be hurt. In the end, the wound came anyway, because truth postponed returns as a whirlwind. One day, she decided to shorten the text. She discovered the magic of a short, kind sentence. "Thank you, it doesn't work for me. Today doesn't suit me. I can't like this." Between fear and respect, she chose respect. Her world didn't explode. It simply changed its order. And in the new order, Elena recognized herself more. What's hardest for most of us, paradoxically, is not saying no to the big things, but keeping small loyalties daily. 1,000 times you chose what you knew grated on you, convinced that just this once wouldn't matter. It does. What happens is you drift. You overextend. You accumulate resentment and swallow it as if it were yours. One day, you wake up far from yourself. Coming back is possible. You return with one gesture, then another. You return every time you prioritize the rest you need over a plan that doesn't nourish you. You return when you choose conversations with presence instead of screens that suck your spirit. You return when you drive your stake into the ground and say, "From here, I build." Maybe you're wondering how it feels inside, the day you start truly loving yourself. It feels sober, not euphoria. A peace that makes no noise. A relief that doesn't need posting. A warm, even temperature in your chest when you honor something of yours without offending anyone. A no that lets you sleep. A yes that doesn't ask for forgiveness. A quiet tear when you forgive yourself for being late. A deep gratitude for the simple things. A hot coffee, an honest message, a made bed, and your name written by you, without diminutives. In adult love, tenderness isn't a prize. It's a language. Tenderness rescues you from the harshness you spoke to yourself with for years. It told you you're exaggerating when what was happening was serious. It called you dramatic when you were begging for dignity. Tenderness looks you in the eyes and admits the truth. Tenderness helps you repair without punishment. It says, You did the best you knew how, and immediately invites you to do better. Tenderness without limits is empty comfort. Limits without tenderness are inner violence. Self-love reconciles them. It cares for you and orders, if you. There's a delicate point I won't dodge. The fear of ending up alone. I understand. Solitude hurts when it's not chosen, and when it hides harmful scripts. I'm not enough. At my age already, everyone else can but me. I'm not speaking from an altar. I know that voice too. That's why I tell you, being on your own isn't being without love if you stay with yourself. Chosen solitude is training for intimacy. It teaches you to listen without noise, to be bored without panic, to desire without urgency, to need without begging. Solitude well lived prepares you for good love, the kind that adds without demanding you erase yourself. People often ask me for tips, as if I could hand you a neutral recipe that always works. I won't insult your intelligence. You're not an algorithm with buttons to press. You're a person with history, roots, scars, and a unique present. What I can offer is a compass. Choose what makes you feel honest, even if it costs you. Release what turns you into an obedient version of yourself. And every time you doubt, ask, am I bargaining with my self-respect to buy crumbs of peace? If the answer is yes, remember that crumbs don't feed you, they only entertain the hunger. I propose a silent practice that needs no cameras, the minimum promise. Each morning, promise yourself something so small you can't fail yourself. A glass of water before coffee, 3 breaths before replying, a 10-minute walk without a screen. Gratitude with full words, not just emojis, one line that names you, leaving on time. If today you keep your word to yourself, tomorrow you'll trust yourself a little more. Self-esteem doesn't fall from the sky. It's built with evidence. You want to trust yourself? Give yourself proof daily. Another practice. Check which conversations expand you and which shrink you. Your body knows. Trust it. You don't need a public statement to take distance. Distance can also be an act of love. Love for your mental health, your creativity, your time. When you step away without hatred, you're saying, there's no war, there's care. When you come back without resentment, you're saying, there was repair, not amnesia. Adult life is a dance of approaching and withdrawing with respect. Let your step be set by your truth, not by fear of being labeled. I'd like you tonight, if you feel like it, to write yourself a brief letter, nothing solemn. A paragraph that begins, "Today I didn't leave you alone when..." Complete that sentence. Maybe because you asked for help, because you said no, because you resisted chasing a closure that never comes, because you chose to sleep on time. Then add, "Tomorrow I'm going to sustain you when..." Make it concrete. Your life changes with humble commitments kept, not with epic promises forgotten. Big turns start with small shifts. I want to tell you one more thing that saved me from many dependencies. Dignity is not hauteur. Dignity is a very ancient tenderness that sits you upright and whispers, don't lower yourself for company. Don't overextend from fear. Don't go quiet out of habit. Don't leave yourself for love. With dignity, the ordinary becomes ritual. You set the table for yourself. You dress for your own gaze. You speak to yourself as someone you want to care for. You make room in your home for calm. You give thanks. You thank yourself. And the world, in its time, learns to treat you as you treat yourself. I know what I'm saying sounds beautiful and hard at once. It's okay that it feels that way. Don't aim for perfect, aim for true. There will be days that come out crooked, replies that arrive late, limits that tremble. Stay. Rebuild. Repeat. Nothing worthwhile is born from a single declaration. It's born from patient coexistence with yourself. The opposite of self-abandonment isn't a heroic act, it's a gentle constancy. It's the fidelity of continuing to choose yourself even when it's not a trending topic. And now, without noise, I want you to hear this. You are not the sum of those who chose you, nor the remainder of those who didn't. You're not a draft of a person needing polish until someone finally says, now you're ready. You're not the strong one who needs nothing, nor the fragile one who needs saving. You are someone learning to sustain herself, who, when she falls, stays close, who, when she loves, doesn't disappear, who, when she dreams, doesn't forget to eat. You are someone who can add a new line to the inherited script. Today, I won't abandon myself. Loving yourself isn't pampering yourself. Loving yourself is not lying to yourself. It's not slapping patches where structure is needed. It's not buying love with sacrifices that leave you in debt. It's not turning your limits into excuses to scold everyone, but into commitments to honor yourself. It's not making independence a suit of armor, but making interdependence an art. It's saying yes when it's a yes in your chest and no when your whole body tightens. It's forgiving yourself with actions, understanding why you did what you did, and choosing differently from today on. If you had waited to feel ready, maybe you would never have started. You're going to start like this, with fear, with doubts, with the urge to look back, and also with a new clarity. You're not going back to the place where you lost yourself. You're coming back to you. And from you, you choose. And by choosing yourself, life finds order. Not because everything magically fits, but because you fit with yourself. And when you fit with yourself, you care for what you love without abandoning yourself. You work with ambition without exhausting yourself. You rest without guilt. You cry without shame. You laugh without permission. You build without hurry. You walk at your pace. Perhaps, while you were listening, an image came to you of something you need to let go. Don't rush. Sometimes letting go isn't stopping loving. It's stopping the struggle. Sometimes letting go isn't locking the door. It's not lingering in the doorway. Sometimes letting go isn't saying goodbye. It's saying hello to yourself again. And in that hello, a life more yours begins. Not a perfect life, a true one. Before I say goodbye, I want to leave you with one last truth, simple and enormous. The version of you you're waiting for isn't coming to save you. She's waiting where you promised to meet today. In that call you're delaying. In that limit you know how to set. In that rest without excuses. In that plate that will nourish you. In that brief walk in the sun. In that laugh you won't postpone. In that honest sentence that leads you out of the maze. Don't look for her farther away. You're here. And here is where everything begins. Thank you for staying until the end. If any of this touched you, don't turn it into just another idea. Choose one small thing and do it today. Tomorrow, it will tell you a secret. That you didn't need the world to change to come home. That you didn't need pampering to numb yourself, but love to inhabit yourself. That every time you choose yourself without stepping on anyone, life expands. And yes, the love you were waiting for was also this one, your own, the one that finally stopped abandoning you.